Hello everyone and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 339. Today is Saturday, October 17th, 2020, and I'm glad you could join me today. It's certainly been a very strange day on social media. Would it be because this would have been Rhinebeck Saturday, so it's a bit of dissonance with releasing patterns for a festival not occurring or sharing pictures from would it be times past because you're getting reminded. But such is life. Would it be if I do go, it would be in odd years. So oh well, we'll make it work out. But it's just, or would it be, it's very strange to see those, or whatever, that contradiction exposed, if that makes any sense. So, oh well, such is life. This week is going to be a whole lot of knitting. I am still working on the quest to knit up hand-spun in order to make room in my spirit for new hand-spun. So it would be the case, or would it be the case right now where it's like I want to finish some hand-spun projects before I create more hand-spun, because I can spin way faster than I can knit. And to be quite frank, I'm actually getting pretty close. So I feel like I pick up this project and then I start talking about the other one, shenanigans. So here's the story. This project is the Now and Neck Socks, which is a hay brownberry pattern that I am knitting for several different knit-alongs. It appears that I am slowly transitioning out of the stark red color. Who knows how or why. And you can sort of see, what would it be? I opted for a bottom of foot gusset on this sock. It has this lovely texture pattern in it. Ooh. There we go. Don't get too close to the camera. I currently have the shower curtain shades up in order to make the light soft and wonderful, but there are limits. So not too crazy there. I did get a little bit done on this project this week, so I pulled it out. The yarn is Southern Cross Fiber in the Desert Rose colorway, and I'm knitting this for Earth Tones Girl Falling Leaves Sock Cow. I am knitting this for the Knit Girls, Halloween Craft All the Things. I'm knitting this for the Sock Knitters, What's New Pussycat Cow, because I've never knit a pattern from March before. And it's also probably a part of Socktober, and that is something that Mars and Denise are running together. So awful lot of confluence in this pair of socks. I probably need to get a move on if I want to finish before November 1st for the Knit Girls cow. I think that would also, I don't think that applies for the other one. Maybe it does, so. There are other things I want to do. It's not like it's the end of the world. I don't know, it's an interesting sort of thing where you're like, it's like, I'm doing this for fun, there's no need to be productive. But, I don't know, so. I'm apparently in a strange place right now. As I drink my probably hybrid coffee right now. So I tried I believe it's the Equator Ethiopian Sidamo, but I had decided that I did not like it as much. And I remember liking the flywheel Ethiopian Sidamo, but there was probably still the old um, beans, or some beans remaining when I did the grind from the previous one. So at this point, I might just be tempted to order more from the place I like in Dallas. I don't know. Such is life. So I spent the early afternoon getting some good photos of this project. So this is my Mesa sweater wrap out of my Ginny the Fleece handspun that I dyed with Wilton's gel food coloring and then processed into top and then into a 3-ply gradient yarn. So on this end we've got the teal, we then move into blue and purple, and now we're heading back to teal again. So this thing that appears gray upon my screen, from here to here, is my purple, purple, purple colorway. And I'm now in a section sort of from here to here, which is purple, purple, teal. What's interesting about this right now is that there's a whole lot of sweater here. So where I left off last time was here, so I actually probably did end up putting in another 8 inches this week, which is a lot of knitting. So I managed to finish up the purple, purple, purple. I think that's the only thing that I ended up finishing up this week. I started to incorporate the teal, teal, purple, and I'm still at least a little bit away from getting that last color incorporated, but this is the purple, purple, teal. You can see that its top is a little bit more teal than its sides, maybe. And the final color will be this, which does look teal. It is teal, teal, purple, which looks straight up teal. Luckily, we have a section of teal with which to compare it to, so it just looks the same, whatever. I may end up needing to rewind this ball before I can use it. Such is life. But they are distinct from each other, so not too crazy. What it sort of looks like on sweaters, that it's actually turning more blue than what it was before. But I don't know, who knows. If you make it into like a crazy jumble, you can see places where other colors intersect and they contrast a little bit better. But oh well. Not the most photogenic project ever. But I did end up trying to take some pictures to try to capture what that color looks like. As I do on days when I am not working during the beautiful sunshiny hours. So, what is it? The Bay Area Fiber Fair ended on Thursday, and they gave away grand prizes and what would it be? So I can no longer enter for that, even though it would have counted for quite a few entries. I did not finish in time. But one nice thing was that I did end up hearing back from my sister. So she thought these colors did look pretty cute for a baby blanket. And I think my plan, just stuff going on off camera. So I think my plan is to do maybe something a little bit asymmetric with this. So I will hold it doubled with itself, I think for 2 segments, and then hold it with the next color in the sequence for 1 segment, and that I'll do the 10-stitch blanket, which is a Frankie Brown pattern. I was thinking about doing the spiral, but I realized with the spiral that it was going to be a little bit less clear when I should change colors. I wasn't sure how useful a giant round blanket would be. So I think I'm going to go with that, but the square pattern I think is going to end up working out pretty nice. So there is that. And I won't end up winding the yarn until I finish the sweater, because that I think is the big thing that ends up needing to get done. And then I also need to figure out if I'm going to have another surprise project. I'll have to, or I think I need to end up talking with my mom. So what I have on the chair behind me is the prayer shawl that my grandma knit for me before I ended up leaving to go to college. So I figured that that was a nice deep blue thing that I could have in the background. So, and honestly, I only have 2 things from my grandma. She was a very avid knitter, but not very advanced. So she knit a lot, but a lot of this is what have you? So this guy is a garter stitch rectangle with tassels. I have the project, the last project that she was working on, which involves the faux cable, and she ended up running out of yarn, so I still haven't yet decided what I'm going to do about that one. But my mom asked if I would be willing to make a prayer shawl for someone that she knows. So, not sure if I want to guide my mom in how to do it herself, because she was the one who taught me how to knit. And I'm pretty sure that, or whatever, something like this is well within her capability, even though she, what would it be, does not knit on the regular or the irregular. Because one of like my hang-ups is making stuff out of yarn that is capable of taking care of someone who is not a yarn person. Like, would it be a very beautiful gesture to give someone something has done? Absolutely. But like this guy, for example, hella feltable. um, yeah, so while it is beautiful and lovely, I distinctly remember forgetting that I had a piece of the fleece in my pocket and then coming out with a little ball of felt after washing, so what would it be? So I probably just need to talk with her about it. It may be the case where, what would it be? I don't know. So the only thing that really comes to mind, because I don't have a lot of superwash thicker weight yarn, would be, or that isn't like earmarked for a sweater, is that it would need to be knit probably out of fingering weight scraps held together for like some sort of moral effect. Which could be cool. It's not like I have tremendous plans for all of my finger and weight scraps. They just accumulate slowly but surely. But yeah, no, that's a little bit of the dilemma right now. It'd be like, the intention of knitting with handspun is getting slightly derailed by other things. So I don't know what I want to do about it. But yeah, no, so that's vaguely what's flying around in my head right now. I'm definitely starting to look wistfully at my beautifully prepped fiber in order to start spinning. So I'm thinking it's just gonna be 1 or 2 more weeks of being highly focused on knitting projects before I start alternating a little bit again. And that mostly just has to do with the fact that feeling uncomfortable with my sweater spins exceeding the pace of my handspun sweater knits. I definitely have some handspun quantities that could be knit into sweaters. So that's sort of my brain space right now. Not that, what would it be? I think it's also maybe a little bit challenging just because hitting that right sort of thing with the times when I really want a sweater, I want the thickest, snuggliest sweater that I have. Because when I really want a sweater, it is because we should turn on the furnace. As you do. So, for some reason, I am not reaching for the fingering weight, whatever, one of the many fingering weight sweaters I have when I need to be a little bit more warm. And I don't know if this is the case where it's just that, I don't know, we're just in pandemic times and I don't need to look fancy. But when I'm cold, I just want the thing that works. So, who knows? That's my puzzle at the moment. There definitely hasn't been very much shawl wearing at all. Or if there has been shawl wearing, it has been my giant brioche shawl of quarantine. So whatever, not too crazy. But yeah, no. So that's whatever. Where I'm at right now is trying to figure out what I want to do. I will just have to sort through what exactly it is that I want to do. Because if I decide to do a fingering weight hold many things at one sort of project, I probably need to figure out of my fingering weight stash what things are still existing socks, so that I can save yarn for repairs, and then maybe do a giant stash busting sort of thing. That could be cathartic. So I'll have to figure out what exactly it is that I want to do. So you can tell I'm not super duper excited, so I feel like I almost need to guide my mom in this one. Or cast on and send her send her all of this stuff, who knows. But not too crazy. I don't know, it doesn't help that today is pretty hot. There's been a string of hot days, so instead of it being 57 like it normally is, it is 84 in the land of no air conditioning in the west facing room, so it's what to be. It just doesn't work as well in that situation. But we'll figure it out. So I don't know, perhaps I'm also maybe a little bit concerned because would it be my Mesa sweater wrap is in fact quite long, so I'm maybe getting a little bit nervous about what happens when I add whatever, like 500 more yards of knitting to it, or if I just need to make sure that I block it lengthwise quite a bit in order to shrink it. You know, I have to block it widthwise quite a bit to shrink it lengthwise. That's what I don't know. Things are a little bit strange because of how everything falls, but I don't think it'd be the case where if I moved the armholes to a different place, that would not end up looking in the way that I wanted it to be, but oh well, such is life. Let's see. Other things I wanted to talk about. I know, I think it's gonna be a shorter episode this week, and that's not too crazy. Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk about. So I was tooling around a little bit in like the YouTube statistics. I ended up finding out that YouTube automatically does captioning in English for the videos, and I thought that was super duper cool. Would it be because I had not thought of doing such accessibility sorts of things, but I am super duper glad that it exists and that at least one of my viewers is able to take advantage of that. So would it be, I ended up taking my last episode and turning it on, and it was like, wow. Would it be, the only thing that I had noticed was that maybe the square bracketed laughter did not properly capture the joy of laughter, but that's better than nothing at all. So would it be, so I know that would it be, I know that lately for like some of the shows that we end up watching, like the Dear Sweet Lovable one definitely takes advantage of the captions. Um, so, and there are definitely times where it's like super duper nice to have them on because you can more clearly figure out what's happening, what people are saying, and that sort of thing. So, if you've never tried it before, what would it be? I thought that it was super cool. So, what would it be? So, if you didn't know, because I just found out about this last night, now you know too. I also posted on Instagram about it because I don't know. I just thought it was cool. So I think that's everything that I wanted to cover this week. I don't foresee any problems with recording at the usual time and place next week. And we shall see. I know, I'm starting to get the feeling that I'm going to fail at most of the nipple launch of that super pair of socks. If I put all of my time and energy into the sweater, then there is no way that I'm going to be able to finish the socks. So, whatever. Such is life. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So, take care, guys. Bye bye.